Hey, how's it going? My name's Philip Collum, and if you just clicked on this video hoping to find something that will change the way you feel about reptiles, I'm excited that you're here. If this is somebody that's not afraid of snakes, feel free to share this with your friends and family that don't fully understand your passion and why you love the animals that you love. If you're here out of fear, I just want to say that at no point in this video will I force you to see anything that you don't want to see. So later on in the end of this video, I'll give you the option to take some more steps towards getting over your fears. But to begin with, I want to share my backstory. I was raised in South Louisiana in the bayous, and there were lots of wild animals. It's also a very Catholic area, and that might seem like a weird thing to bring up, but typically in the Catholic religion, the serpent is looked at as the devil, and that stigma carries a lot of weight to a lot of people. On top of that, it is very natural to be fearful of things that don't look natural. And an animal's ability to move without limbs is kind of freaky. I have, in the wild as a young kid, I experienced a lot of close calls, and those things created confusion and fear. It's a natural reaction. You take a baby kitten and you put it near a snake, and that kitten naturally knows that that thing is bad, even though it could be just a few days old, or its eyes just opened and it already knows that that's bad, or it assumes that's bad. When I was a kid, I was at a fishing dock and I had a wild snake come up and bite me on the ankle. My family didn't know what it was, so they rushed me to the hospital, and there was a lot of anxiety and stress around that situation, and it created a difficult thing to get over. And I never intentionally tried to get over it, to be honest. I was just content with it being that way. It's kind of the environment I lived in, the environment I was raised in. And after probably 10 years, I ended up getting a job at a pet store. And my one rule was that I wouldn't touch any snakes and I wouldn't touch any spiders. And they were fine with that. I took care of every other animal and cleaned up dog crap out the aisles and scrubbed the bathrooms and all that stuff. But one day, a little old lady named Miss Mary drove her 67 Mustang into the parking lot, got out of her car, and came walk in the store. And she had this little squirrely thing tied up in her hair, and it was a Rosy Boa. And I didn't know what it was at first. I just saw some orange thing curl up in her hair. And if you've never seen a Rosy Boa, which I imagine you probably haven't, some of you, it's a very goofy looking, it looks like an orange worm. Like they have, I mean, it has eyes, obviously, but they're goofy looking eyes. It's got a goofy looking nose, and they're just strange looking creatures, but they don't look scary. They have nothing in them looks scary. They look extremely, almost cute, dorky cute, And I asked her what it was. She told me it was a snake. She told me it was a Rosy Boa, and she asked me if I wanted to hold it. And that little spark of interest and that lack of initial fear brought down that wall and allowed me to open up to that new experience. And I was amazed, because after that, I've slowly found out more and more that snakes aren't at all what I feared they would be, or what I thought they would be. There's something like in that cat that happens when your brain sees something that doesn't make sense, and it naturally assumes that that's not natural, that's not good. And that is the part of your brain that is your fight or flight, your survival, your adrenaline dumping, and all of those things combine to heighten the experience and cause that little bit of initial fear to just flare up and become overwhelming. So your fears are real. It's not in your head. You're not crazy, or you're not silly, or you're not foolish for being afraid of these things. But there are ways for you to get past that. And a big one is finding a way to ground yourself when you're planning to experience or trying to get near them. So when you feel that fear flare up, calming yourself down, taking some deep breaths, feeling the room around you, putting yourself back in your place, because when you go into that fear mode, it heightens all of your senses and you get tunnel vision, and it can be extremely overwhelming. So it's like a soldier in war. If they get too much tunnel vision in an experience, it can be bad for them. And this is the same sort of thing for for just your average person. There's no reason to be really afraid. There are risks with any animal, but they are manageable risks, and they are extremely mild and minimal with most of your household pet snakes that you would see. Now, I still get spooked when I see a snake out in the wild or whatever. Still might jump, but I'm educated enough to calm myself, take a look at it, evaluate what it is, and then assess the situation and see what I should do with that animal. Leave it alone, or move it, or whatever. But anyways, what I would recommend is, if you're interested in continuing this process, I would like you to take a few deep breaths, calm yourself, make sure your head is clear, and then I will put a link up here, and that's going to be a video that you can go click on, and I will ease you into taking a look at a snake. But if you don't want to, no pressure. I would recommend you take a few days, take a break, calm down, and then come back and watch this video again, and consider again at that point moving on to the next step. And I think if that works well for you, then I hope I've helped you in some way. And if this is somebody watching that isn't afraid of snakes, feel free to share this with your friends and family. I really hope it helps them, and I hope it helps you, because I know that can be a big roadblock for keeping, is the hurdles of society. Not necessarily physically keeping the animal, but dealing with the world around you reacting to your choices or whatever, because these animals are awesome. They really are. They're wonderful creatures. They are fascinating to keep, and they are so, the chances of being bit and all these things are so mild in comparison to some of the other animals that everybody trusts. So again, thank you for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Feel free to share it with your friends, like and subscribe if you care to. And yeah, that's it for today. Y'all take it easy. If it ain't easy, don't take it. Peace.